All right, it is indeed time for the Fluffle to assemble. Welcome one and all to the Rabid Atheist Show. I'm your host, Ed Raby, a former pastor turned atheist, now a compassionate anti-theist. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the show. Welcome to another Monday Fireside Chat atmosphere. It's one of my almost open streams I have, no restrictions, but we are going to look at a video today by Greg Koukl, where he answers a question from one of his people about God's justice. And as I was watching this video, I kind of had a few observations, but we're going to dive into that. But there you go. Before we begin, though, a couple announcements. There's, of course, a goal in chat. Keep my streams motoring along ad-free. I am not going to put ads on my streams anymore, before, after, during, anything. I am relying completely on the goal support and all the support of the Fluffle. So there you go. I appreciate all of it. So that way you guys can just watch the streams and enjoy it, and I have less headaches at YouTube. So there you go. There's also a link in the description to the Fluffle of Fangs if you're looking for a community. We definitely could always use a few more fun people around. We're trying to have fun over there, so make sure you check that out. Also, for the last month or so, I've been running a GoFundMe for IKE, but I'm not going to promote that anymore. Some of the good news is that IKE is in a much better place, so Earl's doing much better. In a lot of ways, we are going to continue to use the money for any medical stuff that she needs, because she still doesn't have insurance. So we're going to cover that stuff, get her closer to getting her hands fixed and all that stuff. But that's what we're going to do with it. But we already hit 81%. So it's been great. It's been awesome. I can't thank all of you enough. Like, all of you are amazing and fabulous, and everybody who's donated and promoted has been fabulous. So thanks all for that. So I think that's it. Let's see, what's the rest of the week? I'll announce this here and then at the end of the stream. Tomorrow, I'm looking at J. Warner Wallace, because J. Warner Wallace just put out a couple of videos on the resurrection. So I figured that would be fun. Thursday, we're continuing on looking at the PBS documentary about the evolutionist daughter versus her her creationist father. And then on Friday, there was a face-off between two women. Oh man, I feel bad. I can't remember them, on Jubilee. And me and the lovely Earl are going to co-stream on Friday, and we're going to look at that video. I don't know. It might take a couple of streams, but we'll see what we can do on Friday. But that's kind of the plans for the week. So you know what we're doing. All right, let's get a roll call. Let's see who's here. So we had Triple E was here earlier. Professor Hizzle, good to see Professor Hizzle. Allegedly Fred is also here. Let's see. Rimmer is here. Michael is here. Dragon Rider is here. And there she is. Wonderful, lovely, smart, beautiful, intelligent, lap in which our Lord naps. I killed Earl. One of the smartest women I know. Vixen is here. Good to see Vixen. Tilting. Good to see you. Oh, yeah, that's right. Stucky Monty. Okay, there we go. Thanks for that, Earl. Appreciate that. My memory isn't always as good. So, oh, yes. I'm. No, Fred, I'm just keeping up on things. Everything you're seeing today and tomorrow is stuff that has been released by these two individuals in the last week. Like, this is not old stuff. This is like literally new stuff. Like, I'm trying to keep on top of these apologists with their new stuff. And it just makes for great stuff. So it does. Besides, I got to keep myself in. Heads. Good to see you, Heads. So there we go. There we go. All right. This is a video, of course, off Stand to Reason, one of the most misnamed channels in existence. Top 5 easy. Where Greg and his co-hosts are answering a question from a listener named Charisma, I believe. So yeah, we're going to do that. And it's all about God's justice. And let's see if Greg actually defends anything. So, hey, Blossom, good to see you. Not even the most damning evidence is not God of gods, or not even just, is that the Red Hot Chili Peppers never fired him because his lead singer is unacceptable, unexplainable. Yes. All right, here we go. This is Greg on his show, his radio show, his podcast, answering a question from a person. Goes, no, we're not doing that. It's been done. All right, here we go.
This one comes from Charisma. God didn't do anything to earn being God, did he? How did he become so judgmental?
All right, I have to stop here because I looked at the comment section on this video, and one of the Christians said, I don't know how he kept a straight face on this question. The question is actually very, very valid. No, I don't think it's from AIG. No. Yeah, but it's like he's trying to. Everyone's like, oh, you're trying to hold it together because this question is dumb. It's not a dumb question. It's only dumb if you have a theistic type mindset where you have a certain perception of what God is. But people outside the faith, this is a legitimate question. Like, what has God done to earn us as human beings calling him just? Like, if we look at God's justice, how did he earn that? Like, how did he earn the idea in everybody's brains that he is just? Like, why? How has that worked? Well, like, he's either poisoning the well, or he's ignorant, or his brain is so focused on what he thinks about God that the question is funny to him. Like, he can't see outside of what it is. So yeah. So it's just, oh, I'm sorry you're homesick, Tilting. Oh, man. Get better. Hopefully you get better. Okay. Too wonderful a person to be sick. All right. That goes for a lot of people I know that are sick. So yeah, like it's ignorant. Like, I think his response is kind of ignorant. Like, he's not getting the gist of the question, because what he should have done at this point, instead of like poisoning the well by laughing about it, is like, he should have said, oh, well, I get what this question is going at the justice of God. Like, how did he earn his title? Like, a lot of Christians, like, from a deconversion point of view, this is a very valid question. Like, why does God get a pass at earning stuff? So there you go. There you go. So
my head is resting on the microphone. I'm thinking, that's like, to me, this question falls into the category of I didn't ask to be born. Well, you couldn't ask to be born before you were born.
Okay, so Koukl wants to shove this idea of God's justice into the same category as I didn't ask to be born, which is the idea there behind it is a way to dismiss the question. Like, the fact that I didn't ask to be born is, you can frame it as being irrelevant. Like, well, you were born and you're here. God is just, so therefore just deal with it. Yes, exactly. So Yeah, so there's no soul. Yes, yes. Yeah, it is a really bad shirt for him, to be honest. Yeah, he should stop wearing the flannel shit. Oh my goodness. So there you go. But yes, he wants to move it into this different category where he doesn't really have to deal with it. And we're going to see a lot of dodging here. Like both him and Amy here are going to absolutely dodge this question. They are going to, and they're going to do it in many, many interesting ways. But this is a question that a lot of people ask about God's justice. Like, how the hell does how did God earn the throne over humanity? Like, how did he earn it? Like, if we look at judges, okay, like we're talking justice, if I'm judging a person who sat on the bench, okay, what am I judging them by? Like, what am I judging them by? Am I not judging them by how they interpreted the law? Am I not judging them by what cases they had and how they handled those cases? Did they give the adequate punishment for the crime? Were they just or unjust? Like, did they do, like, it's one of those things where it's like, when we judge real judges in this world, and then if we think somebody is a just judge, it's because of what they did to earn that title. And what Koukl is doing here, which I find very dishonest, he's basically saying, well, God's in a category where he doesn't have to earn the title. He doesn't have to earn the accreditation. So, yeah, like, aren't morals written on our heart? Actually, Dragon Rider, yeah, this is a presupper. Like, he's presupposing something about God that he will not question. And that's the problem. So, you got a doctor's appointment, Fred? Oh, man, all you people getting sick on me. It's not fair. Because I'm sick calling healthy right now. Like, you suspect negativism too, Josh? Okay, very good. Good to see you, Josh. All right, yes. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's always interesting how Christians want to take God's justice and put it in this special category where, well, that's just the way he is. Well, like, dude, demonstrate it. Show me how he's been just. Like, when I evaluate a judge in this world, like, I can look at how they handle their cases. I can look at what decisions they make. They have a track record ahead of a time before I give them the moniker, yeah, he was a really good, just judge. Like, you want to know what our non-presupper, you would like genuinely to know what a non-presupper Christian would even look like? My funny answer is a deconverted one, but I have noticed an increase in presuppositional apologetics on all apologists. Like, all apologists are just playing this game of, like, tomorrow we're going to see, the resurrection just happened, therefore God, and here we got God is just, don't question it, therefore God. It's like, it's you have an appointment with a German. Okay. I don't know my parents anything because of this wrong. How is that hard to grasp? Even Jesus said this in a roundabout way. Yeah, like he does. He didn't have any control about this. Rimmer's point is valid. Like, I don't owe it to my parents anything because they put me in this world without my consent. Like, I'm here, and so it's a legitimate question to be answered. But Koukl wants to put it in that category of questions that he doesn't think should be answered, and I think this is because if he knows, and this is the point of my title, he knows that if he starts talking about the merits of God's justice based on what's in the Bible, he's got a harder fight. If he starts talking about the merits of God's justice when we look at the world and the moral evil that takes place and he does nothing about it, he has less to talk about. Because he knows at that point God's justice can be questioned and can be questioned hard. And so he's like trying to categorize this question by this viewer to get rid of it. Like, he's diminishing the question. He wants it to be some sort of question, like it's a silly question to really even be talking about. And it's not that silly. And that's his problem with it. Without consent until recently. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it's more special pleading, Ryan. Good to see you, Ryan. More special pleading, sung in the style of Boss. More special pleading. There we go. You know what? All right, thank you. More special pleading. I can see that. We could do. Somebody needs to do that. That was a great one. Oh my goodness. Yeah, why did humans pick a major psycho to be the one and only God? Yeah, like that's the thing. Like why are you afraid to talk about the merits of God's justice? Why are you afraid to do that, Koukl? Why is this question somehow funny to you? Because you automatically assume its merits. You automatically assume its merits. And that's the problem. Like, but if God merits our understanding of his justice, that he is indeed just, why is it so bad to put the damn shit, the evidence on the table about it? Like, I'm sorry, you seem to be afraid to talk about the merits of God being called just, and you don't want to talk about it. And it's just, it tells me something. It tells me that you know your God isn't just. If I look at him on the merits, you know it. And so you want to avoid talking about it. So, hey, Eric. Hey, Lindsay. Uh-oh. That's right. No, I'm saying, more special pleading. I've got it in my head now. Oh my goodness. Somebody's got to rewrite that song with those lyrics. It's got to happen now. See, my parents brought me into life. Then they took responsibility, loved and cared for, and sacrificed for me, raised a decent human being, and managed to give me all that needed to be that. Yep, there you go. So for that I owe them a great deal. There you go. Non-existent God, absolutely nothing. There you go. I still like to rub it in my brother's faces that I was the only one made on purpose, but that's just common Greek. Yeah, it does tickle my tism too, pretty hard too. More special pleading. I can think of verses too. I'm gonna have. Oh, damn it! I'm gonna see myself at lunch at work today with my notebook out. Because I love that song by Boston. I'm about to ruin it. All right, we're never going to get anywhere in this video if I don't get moving.
It's a nonsense question. So what does that mean? So now you have no responsibilities since you didn't give your permission to be born? The same kind of thinking applies to this. And that is, God didn't deserve to be God. So why could he be so judgmental of others? Here's the deal. God is God. That is the meta.
Okay, claim without evidence. Okay, like, here we go. Like the presupposition was like Dragon Rider hit it earlier. The presupposition is about to start.
Physical reality. Now, look, if there may be a question in your mind whether there's a God or not, but if there is a God, or at least the God we represent, since Charisma is asking the question. By the way, charisma is a great word because that means grace. So I don't know if Charisma is a Christian or not, or she's voicing something she's been challenged with. But God, the nature of God is that he's a perfect being. He has no imperfections, which includes moral imperfections. And so God is perfect.
All right. Now, everything that Koukl just said is a presupposition that he has about God. He hasn't proven a damn one of these things. And the problem is, if he could actually use this question to prove by God's merits that he is just and a just God, he would actually make a better case for God. But he's like completely avoiding the subject of God's merits to sit in judgment over humanity. Like, what merits are there? So there you go. So, I mean, come on. Maybe because God has skeletons in his closet that people have every right to judge him for? Yes, Dragon Rider. Outstanding. It's outstanding. Hey, thanks, Josh. Appreciate it. There's one. If anything, Christians like Greg hand wave away a bunch of responsibilities. Yes, that is correct. I think Koukl is trying to hand wave the responsibility of defending God's justice, which makes him a lousy apologist, I would say. He's not the only one that does this, but he's certainly, his problem that I have here is everything he just said, God is this, God is that. Well, you haven't proven shit. First of all, you haven't proven a God exists. But let's say we assume that for the sake of argument that there's a God exists. On what meritorious basis, as we look at the world around us, or if you're even going to propose like the God of the Bible, on what merits in the Bible does he show that he is indeed just? Like, let's quit assuming God's justice and prove it. And if he is God, if he is the God that's all that, like you said, Greg, where's the evidence? Like, there should be a shit ton of evidence for this. Like, he's God after all. Not Clement, which given my parents married less than half a year after I was born. Yeah. It's my mother too. Song stuck in my head today earlier. Good to see Nami. Hey, there he is. There's Wolf. Very good to see you, man. You're late. Yeah, you are. Don't stop special pleading. You guys are going to kill me with the Boston songs today. Well, shit. Didn't think of that. Toby to get Atheist. Thanks, Ryan. No, God isn't the only God, nor was he perfect. And there's also mothers. 2 points here, Dragon Rider says. The moment that Greg Koukl mentions moral imperfections, then we need to start talking about the problem of evil. Yes. Yep. Yes, God is anything but perfect, yes. I'm perfect as well and also can't prove it. Good point, Michael. Hey, Evan. There you are. Loopy fracking gloopy mother fluffers, which I mean I'm freaking hyped as fucking I own money for everything. Evan, it's great. I just want to let you know that you're a wonderful, outstanding human being. There you go. If that's the good thing that happened to you today, and I do believe Earl agrees with that. So you're a wonderful, outstanding human being that deserves all the good things in life. So rack everything except y'all. Okay, there we go. All right. My God is shit as well. Holy shit. Number 2, morality is subjective, and God supposes morality included. If a value judgment, perfection as well. Tilting Wimbo says, it's a bit of a struggle to make new lyrics to more than a feeling. Gonna be tough to keep the lyric rhyme. Fail in the right places, and it makes sense. There you go. When I hear that dumb old fallacy. There you go. I'm just saying. Good screaming. Yeah. He was just a small town dude tripping over donkey poo. Margaret might like that anywhere there. That's Journey. Well, what you could do, Earl, is you can watch this. So I keep the live chat up, so you can watch the live chat later if you really need to. Yeah, I always save it, I think. Yeah, it should be on. So you can watch this later with the live chat. See you later, Josh, and thank you. Yeah, Earl screenshot. There we go. But yes, there's a bunch of stuff here, like lyrics to more than a feeling, more special pleading instead. There we go. All right.
I'm just trying to think of an analog here. Maybe there is none because there's no analogy to God, but God is perfect, and we are imperfect.
There is no flipping analogy to God. And then you're going to say God is perfect. Isn't wait a minute, like, um, what? Like, if there's no analogy to God, then I want you to go and read Psalms, buddy, because Psalms is nothing but analogies about God. Like, I don't know how you even study the Bible without understanding analogies if you're a believer. Like, you have to live in the world of analogies, and they all fail. Don't get me wrong. As an atheist, I'm going to tell you they all fail. But how do you make such a statement? Like, I don't, once again, I feel like you're dodging the question, like dodging the question. Yes, Anna, yes. Yeah, like, how do you know that, Koukl? Yes. Analog, we're in the digital eggs for Fangs' sake. That's like who we are. Yeah, it sounded like it was a wee bit analogous to me. You got that too, Tilting? Yes. Oh, Greg was thinking about Raquel Welch. Yeah, there you go. That's probably true. That's probably true. An analogy to God, the tooth fairy. Yeah, there you go. Like, the whole thing is analogies. I don't know how he says that with a straight face. Like, it's like, dude, everything when people talk about God, they use analogies from beginning to end. Like, it's all analogies. You're using them right now.
Beings, and we look at his perfections and we recognize the nature of the perfections as being glorious and good. Now, of course, one of those perfections is a moral perfection. And because he is morally perfect, then there's a difference between him and those who are not morally perfect.
Okay, first of all, I want proof that God is morally perfect. Like, how do you prove that God is morally perfect? Like, if you're going to make that statement, that's a claim about God. You're claiming that your God, in particular Yahweh, is morally perfect. Oh, you got screenshots? Okay, good. Always like it when Earl's brain is stimulated. But yeah, like, dude, like, prove that God is morally perfect. Like, give me the thing. Like, give me the evidence that he is morally perfect. Like, if you're witnessing to somebody, I'm going to go Christian mindset here. If I'm witnessing to somebody and they have a question about, well, how do you know God is morally perfect? That's a perfectly valid question. How do I answer that? I can't just assume it like you are right now. Like, don't I have some evidence for that? Don't I have some? So, like, don't I have some answers to this? Like, is there no examples of God's moral perfection anywhere that you can point to? Whereas you're just kind of presupping it in that he is. Like, show me that. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. For me, our view of God is kind of limited, as like the way animals see humans trying to save something, but the process is painful. Well, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the argument from the fact that such a being, like, how would ants comprehend humans? Like, I get it. I get the analogy, but that's even analogous. But we're talking about a God who is supposedly omniscient, which means he would know how to communicate. Like, he would know how to communicate to us in a way that we would understand it. Like, because if he can't do that, if there's some sort of barrier between us and him where he cannot communicate to us in a way that's effective, then he's not God, because he obviously doesn't know how to do that, nor does he have the power to do that. Like, we have to, okay, if you're going to assume the omni God, then God both knows and has the ability to communicate effectively to every human being in a way that they will understand it and in a way that should convince them. And yet that does not happen. So from my perspective, actually, what you made note of here, Nami, is like, it's kind of proof against God's existence, at least the omni God's existence. If we're going to have a deist God, I guess we can have that, like a guy who winds up the clock and walks away. But do we have proof of a God that's an omni God that has all these qualities? Like, I'm sorry, if if the God that Koukl believes in exists, okay, not only should he be able to communicate with me, he should be able to communicate to me in a way that I understand it and where there is no misunderstanding of who he is. Okay, so like, yeah. So reality is subjective. One person considers moral, others wouldn't. This perfection mindset that Koukl has makes no sense. Yeah, that's part of his problem. Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence, channeling Tom Cruise. Oh, makes sense here. Let's see. Catching up to the comments. Yeah, true justice. What does that mean? Yeah, like it. Yeah. What justice? Like, you have to prove to me that there's a justice that I have to escape, and you haven't done that. Like, what do you mean? You're making a couple of assumptions that atheists don't make. You might want to explain it into something that we can understand. Like, what justice is there to escape if there is no God? There is no justice to escape. Okay, now unless we make it. So, yep. Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, but if you're going to assume God's existence, you're already on the wrong foot. You haven't even gotten here in the right frame of mind. You need to, if you're going to witness to atheists, okay, let me help you apologize out. If you're going to witness to atheists, why don't we start with the assumption that you need to prove that a God even exists? Let's start with that.
So when he judges, he's judging appropriately those who are morally less than. Some folks don't like that phrase, but
we don't like that phrase because it's inaccurate and, quite frankly, a value judgment. So, and you're basically saying that somehow God is greater than and I'm less than. So, well, he might face the justice of humanity, get convicted of the crime, and put behind bars. If he's a smooth criminal and gets away with it, well, that's unfortunate, but that doesn't prove that there's a God on the other. Just because I wish for a God to provide justice at the end of life doesn't mean one exists. So there we go. Michael's justice. You beat me to it.
But it's appropriate. Okay, so the fastest runner in the Olympics is the...
All right, let me illustrate my point further. Thanks you for the great illustration. It may be that they never face justice. And guess what? After they die, they still won't face justice. That's why it's so important for us to create justice systems in this world. Just because you want justice to be there with some sort of great white throne with God sitting on it doesn't mean it's the case. You have to prove that that exists. And you have to start with proving the existence of God, any God. And until you do that, you haven't even gotten square one with anybody. Prove your God exists, and then we can talk.
Fastest. And others are less fast than he is. So he gets the prize. I mean, we use these kind of terms all the time, and it's nobody fusses about it. But in this case, there's a fuss. And the reason is that we, in our behavior, and our behavior is under the microscope, and God's looking.
Once again, it's nice that you have that belief. Doesn't mean it's real. Like, if you're trying to prove the existence of God, you got to deal with something in reality. Okay. And so far, zero. They won't. It's very possible they won't be. I accept that. Okay. I hope they are, but I accept it that they won't. Okay. They're not going to be brought to justice by some fictional character in the afterlife.
There, and we don't like that. So who is God? I'm paraphrasing here, but this is a sense. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. You could respond, but who is God to judge us? Because he didn't gain what he has, as if that would justify his being able to judge us. I don't follow that either.
Why are you going to wait till then? My point is they may never face justice because there is no God. And if they don't face justice in this life, then that's the case. Your problem is you haven't proven a God. Okay. This conversation's getting old because I've had it before. Okay. Oh, look at this. Okay. 2 more months and I'll be even better than y'all, Fred. Hail Fangs and thank God I'm not in bondage to gods and that don't exist. Ah, yes. Thank you, Azo. If many of you don't know the story of Azo's becoming a member of this channel, I was about to quit. And Azo became my first member, and so I decided not to quit. Well, at least if people are willing to pay for this shit, on a monthly basis, it's probably willing that I should continue. And so Azo kind of saved the channel, just so everybody knows. Yeah, might doesn't make right anyway. Like the justice system that God offers is just, I'm bigger than the rest of you, so I get to decide what's right. So, yes, yeah, and to call the grape and unfair human women in the files is just woke up. Well, yeah, like it's not just the files here. We're talking about people. We're talking about real women that got hurt. So it's like, so what? Okay, so let's say, for argument's sake, that the Epstein perpetrators are never brought to justice. That will be sad because they will never face justice because you haven't proven that there is a God that will provide that justice in the afterlife. You have those are all assertions without evidence. You have no evidence for that other than your own assertions and your own beliefs, and beliefs are worth shit. So, yeah, I'll weigh in as the benevolent dictator for life.
So how can he judge us? He can be so judgmental. My point is, look, he is just morally perfect. He is the standard. Everybody else falls short of that. Now, whether that creates the kind of culpable liability that seems to be the case, certainly in Christianity, may be another discussion. But why are we faulting God because he didn't choose to be God? There was no when that he would have chosen to be him.
The timelessness of God, what a nonsensical concept. But yes, I don't. All right, Earl. Fair. Like, honestly, like, if you can't get my point, like, the idea that people are going to have an afterlife, that's a claim. The idea that there is a God that will judge everybody at the end of the world is also a claim. And a lot of religions make that claim. A idea that everybody is going to face justice after death for what they do is also a claim. In order to prove all those claims, you have to prove that there's a God in the first place. And then you have to prove that he's a just one. And the whole discussion today with Koukl is, I don't think he is a just one. And that's the reason why they don't talk about it. They don't talk about God's merits as a judge and how he's earned the right to become a judge. They just presuppose it. That's where it's presuppositional. They don't prove that. They don't give any evidence for that. And so, yes, like, it is very possible that perpetrators of crimes will get away with it and never receive justice. It's a sucky thing to think about. But I'm not going to wishful think and wish upon a star that there's going to be some ultimate justice at the end. And quite frankly, that allows you Christians and people who believe in an afterlife and believe in to be lazy and to not give a shit about actual justice in this world. It allows you, it'll all work out in the end. God will make everything right. I got news for you. If there is no God, no. And we got to do it now. We got to do it here. Okay? And that takes work. And I'm sorry, if you're just going to wait till God gives everybody justice, you're just being freaking lazy about it. So sorry, I'm on my soapbox. It just pisses me off. Harass's torment. Yes. Oh my goodness. So let's see. So God did not choose to be God. Was it forced on him? I could almost begin to understand him if that were the case. Like he was abused and then became, yes, mods are greater than gods. I want to get to show a point of view of whomever this applies. If God doesn't exist, why despise or mock him? I'm not mocking anybody that I despise and exist. I mean, let me ask you a question. Let's say you're a Harry Potter fan. Okay. Or better, let's do Lord of the Rings, because probably more people know Lord of the Rings. But let's say there's a group of people that like to mock Sauron. Is that wrong? Like, if Sauron doesn't actually exist, like we do this with fictional characters all the time. We make fun of them. I always wonder why it is that there's an assumption here that I'm mocking a real person. Like I mock fictional characters all the time. Like when I talk about them, I think that character's stupid, or I think that's hilarious, or like we do this all the time. Like all of a sudden we want to put a little wall. Like let's be further blunt. Why is his followers afraid of him being mocked? Like, I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. I'm going to pull this whole thing right here. My parody of Fangs and all the things I do with him. I am absolutely satirically throwing bombs at every religion. I'm doing it all the time. And I'm having a blast doing it. If God doesn't exist, but the character does exist, and the person that people believe in does exist, and when you can show how silly that character is, it kind of points out that he's silly, and maybe that taking him too seriously is something you shouldn't do. So there you go. Sharing loving into it. Hi, Ron. Yeah, I mean, I don't really despise them. I just like to have fun. Yeah. So mockery. Nice. Atheism is dead. Well, that's weird because like 10% of my country are non-believers. Actually, 30% are still non-believers. So, I mean, you can delude yourself, Stefan, all you want, but you can face reality. But also, I'd like to point out, I don't know. Some days I like to hang out with my 17 to 24 viewers. They're better than hanging out with most of the Christians I used to hang out because they were mean and mean-spirited like you. Sorry, I'm in a mood. Yeah, it gets bad after book 4 anyway. Oh, yes, no hate like Christian love. Yes. I apologize to Jesus so the rest of you could suck and paraphrase the real sentiment from the late ML. Yes. All right, see you later, Eric. It doesn't matter, though. Like, I can mock a character that doesn't exist. Like, it's not about that. Like, part of the mockery of God issue is like blasphemy. Like, people want to say, and it's to counteract the whole stupidity of what's called blasphemy stuff and blasphemy laws. Like, I'm sorry, I'm allowed to blaspheme, okay? Because to you, that might be blasphemy, but to me, So there you go. Tired of cranking here for being in a mood. Yes. A very recent block for me. Okay, there you go. There you go. That's fair. You're a truth bearer, carry on regardless. I didn't realize there were only 17 atheists in the internet. Yeah, like, well, people come along here and mock my show. I don't know. I've always aimed for quality of support, not quantity. So, and I definitely have that. Like, the Fluffle has been very, very supportive of me and Earl and other people. You guys are awesome. So I'd rather have a few good people than a bunch. Now, I think I'm steadily growing. I'm getting closer to 6Ks. So it's not just that, but yeah, like I love all of you guys, but I'd read it. So Evan says, I still say you should cheer us up with a pic of a certain turtle getting baby Simba time. Okay. You know what? I will look at that might be a good plan, Evan. Like at the end of a stream, I should pick out something in the Fluffle that I thought was hilarious or enjoyable. Like I should really make that a contest of what's happening lately. So if blasphemy makes the Christians feel special, remind them they are called sacred cows for a reason. It's Erlen. And that's kind of why I do it. I just go after the sacred cows. Blasphemy is a good way to point out nonsense. So there you go. In the world since I turned Catholic. Okay. All right. Let's get back to Koukl.
He finds himself forever and ever. He doesn't even find himself like, oh, here I am. Whoa, what do you know? I'm perfect. He just is.
So isn't that an infinite regress that you guys keep yelling at us about, like that the universe always existed in different forms, and you yell, infinite regress? How is God not an infinite regress? And how is that not impossible? So, so there you go.
He's the metaphysical.
I know. Okay, I'm just using what you're saying because a lot of people say that and they don't mean it in a very good light, Naomi. And I go after stuff like that because I don't think it's wrong to do that. So it's like, but I appreciate that so much. I do. But yeah, it's special pleading cranks again. It's like Koukl wants God to stand behind this. So yeah, you're safe. It's okay. Like we like you, Naomi, like we do. So this is a very fluffy Fluffle at times. It really is. We get leaky a lot more than people realize.
Foundation for the entire universe. He's the ontological, the source of being of everything else. He has made everything else out of his perfections, including moral perfection. So I don't know why there is some kind of fault with God, which the question seems to suggest.
But there is a fault with you guys defending him. Like if God, the way you're defending him here, if God is a God of justice, there should be evidence for that. And you should not be afraid at all to present that evidence and prove that God deserves to be God. It's not just a question that you're just falling back to unsubstantiated claims here that you haven't bothered to prove. And what we're asking for you, if you're going to say God is a God of justice, would you please prove that to me? Like, would you show me examples of where he is being just? Will you show me an example where it's clearly evident in this world of God's justice? Like you're special pleading your God's nature so you don't actually deal with that problem. Like, where is it? Where is your evidence? Where is your proof that God is a God of justice? Like, that's a valid question. And you Christians, like Koukl is not the only one that does this. But at this point, I just don't understand God. He's a mystery. We'll understand God's justice later. Like, that's just the way he is. Like, what a horrible defense. Like, that's just, to me, it's a cop-out. I'm going to be honest, it's cowardly. Like, dude, if God is a God of justice, there should be evidence of that. Could you please provide it? Like, yes, God is just. Also, God, now these are generational curses. I put it, yes, Earl, yes. Yes, then why is there so much injustice? Like, if God is just, where is it? Like, I've got plenty of evidence that if God exists, then he's not a very just God. So, your God of justice is incompetent and needs to resign, like a certain president will be named. Yeah, like I agree with Carl on this. If we're looking at the world, we'd have to conclude that God either A is incompetent or B doesn't give a shit. Like it if we're being really honest, I think Carlin hit something there.
I don't. I guess I just don't follow that. Maybe you can help me out.
You don't follow it, Greg, because you're in your Christian mindset bubble. Like how are you going to maintain talking to non-Christians if you keep getting into this bubble, like where you can't see things from their point of view? Like, I know you're getting old, but come on, I am too, but still. Yeah, sit back. Yeah, he doesn't want to. I think he knows it. Like, he knows that if he tries it, so. And flogging yourself is okay. Flogging the bishop's not okay. Okay. Right, Ryan. How are we supposed to trust this God and just muck back when it comes to justice? Be a dick because God will make it all right. Yeah, exactly, Michael. All right.
It's hard for me to understand what the objection here is, because I think the understanding of God is so flawed in this question. I have gotten it before, and it's hard for me to know.
Yes, because it's not the fault of God. It's got to be the fault of the people trying to understand him. That's what it is. Like, God is too incompetent a communicator for us to truly and genuinely, like, I'm sorry, that's such a tacit admission that God doesn't exist. And that it's one of the good examples of it is he apparently doesn't have the knowledge or the power to explain himself to everybody, like in a way that each of us individually will understand. Like, that is such a dodge. Like, it's not God's problem. It's the person's misunderstanding of God that's the problem. And how the hell would you know that? Like, how would you know that? I don't understand this. Yes, our understanding of God is flawed because humans invented it. Ron says, personally, I've had all I can stand of Christian love for one lifetime. Big no thanks for your loves and prayers. Yeah, it's kind of a derp. Yeah, it's definitely a derp. Derpity derp.
If it's the same person writing under different names, or if somebody out here is actually using this objection and so people are asking about it, I'm not sure.
Yes, honey. Amy, my dear, this idea of God isn't a just God has been around for, I don't know, 1,000 years, like several thousand, maybe. Like, people have been questioning the justice of God for a long, long time. It's weird. It's almost like there's something to question. Okay, so to sit there and say, I don't know if somebody just started this. God damn it. Oh, I don't. Jesus. Oh.
Sure which the answer is, but if it were the case that God earned his authority to judge, that wouldn't make things better. That would make things worse. That would mean that there's some other source of authority higher than God.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this objective morality you all keep talking about, right? Because if it's objective, it stands outside of any mind, which means that there's an objective moral standard that even God follows. And that's the only way you get objective morality. Because the moment you take that away, Amy, my dear, you get subjective morality. It's subjective as hell. Okay, it's still subject to your God. Like, no, it doesn't make it worse. It means that you would be providing evidence for God as a just God. Why are you afraid to do that? Do you realize that if you start doing that, people are going to point out the counter evidence? Maybe, possibly. Come on, Amy, do better.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help the case. It means so much more to say, by his own nature, by nature, this self-existent being who did not come to existence, who did not earn any sort of authority, but who has authority by his very nature, by nature of what he is, which is not just the creator of everything, but the perfect being. and the morally perfect being, and perfect in every way, but when it comes to justice, it's the moral perfection that matters here. Now, if you want to say he earned...
Oh, just to make a note, all of those are claims without evidence, and they're all presuppositions without evidence.
Earned something, I guess you could say that because he's the creator, he has a right to judge. But I think it goes beyond that.
But that isn't earned.
Right, it isn't earned. That
it's not accomplished. It is.
Right.
It's the nature of the
He is the creator, therefore he has authority to judge. But it goes beyond that because it's his very character that gives him the authority to judge because he is the perfect being and the only perfect being.
Are you going to just continue to assert things that you don't want to demonstrably prove? See, here's the problem. If you actually gave me acts and understanding of God's justice from what he did and how he earned it, that would be pretty damn good evidence that he exists. But the fact that you're putting him behind this special pleading wall of somehow he is this, and this, therefore we don't have the right to question any of that, that's just Christian brainwashing and indoctrination. That's just theist brainwashing and indoctrination. It shows a lack of understanding of the question. I'm sorry, Amy, my dear. It's not the person that asked this question that misunderstands God. It's you who misunderstands the question. And you don't want to address the question because you know full well that the moment you start addressing God's justice on its merits, I mean, even if what all you say is true, the merits of God's justice should still shine through, shouldn't they? Like we should be able to show, we know God is this way because this is this and this is what happens. But you're basically saying it doesn't matter what happens because God is just this way. And no, it doesn't work for me. And it's never going to work for anybody who asks this question. God hasn't found. So I have every right to judge my kids, but not to force my judgment on them. And they are under no obligation to care. Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I thought when I watched this the first time, I thought Greg was annoying, but I think Amy's more annoying to me because there's just such a self-righteousness here. My dear is killing me. Oh, honestly, Earl, honestly, she bothered me because it's like, how can you tell me you're completely indoctrinated into your views about God without telling me you're completely indoctrinated into your views about God? All right. Speaking of needing to take a break from this so I can take a breath before I hurt somebody, I'm going to take a 2-minute break. I'm going to come back with more of this. Keep going. We're about 60% of the way through. I don't know if we'll finish, but it's okay. I think I've made my points, but I want to make some more points because these people they're just. All right. So for 2 minutes, we're going to enjoy a nice little intermission by our lovely, wonderful I Killed Earl. And enjoy the story, enjoy the moment. See you in 2. I'm back. See you later, Fred. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, hit the like button. Appreciate it. All right. Yeah. Let's see. See, the moment that God gets judged on the merits, he gets exposed as a God who isn't a very good judge. And honestly, Dragon Rider, I think this is why Koukl and Amy are avoiding the question. They're trying to diminish the question that was asked to them, because if they know they have to go down the road of what God has done to merit being called a just judge or any kind of thing, they just don't have that evidence. And it tells me that Koukl and Amy in this video know that they don't have that evidence. And so they are absolutely trying to get by it. Like, they don't want to talk about it. Yeah, like Bren. Hey, good to see you, Bren. But yeah, like, what justice? Like, if we put the merits of God's justice on the table, what justice do we actually have? And that's the question they want to avoid answering, because start looking at the world, start looking at the Bible, and you find out some things aren't all that right. Okay, so.
And because he
continue.
cares about justice, and because he loves and he hates evil, therefore he judges. Every judge who is judging in this world, who's awarded their position, is granted some authority, which I think ultimately comes from God, according to Romans 13. And they are acting in God's place in that they're trying to reflect justice and they're trying to bring about justice. God does that perfectly.
Citation needed, like examples provided. Like, this is what this question was asking for. Like, Charisma was asking for the answer to the question, on what basis, what evidential basis do you say that God is just? And you guys have literally skirted around this question so many different ways. Like, props for avoidance. Like, you guys are avoiding this question better than Spider-Man avoids bullets. But, like, oh my goodness.
God's the perfect judge. He didn't become judgmental. He cares about justice because justice is good. And I don't understand how people lose sight of the fact that justice is a good thing. And I've said this over and over.
I don't, what? Huh? You would be too? Like, nobody's losing sight of the fact that justice is a good thing, Amy. Amy, my dear. I don't know why. Greg has you on the show for a reason. I don't know what that reason is, but that doesn't work. Like, no, nobody is sitting here saying that justice isn't a good thing. We're just asking you for the evidence that your God does the good thing. Like, give me some examples of how God does the good thing. So, right, which is why for-profit prisons, right? Yes, fix it. Justin is incessantly good. Like sometimes it's not necessarily good. It's sometimes about doing the right thing. That's a valid point, Dragon Runner. But what they're dealing with, Brent, is the question was, how did God earn his right to judge? Like, if I boiled it down, like, how did God earn his right to judge? And Koukl literally laughed at the question earlier in the video. Like, they are trying every which way to avoid answering this question, because they know that they have to have God's justice based on its merits. And we start looking around the world and we start looking at the problem of evil and suffering and all the rest of it. Like, what? Like, nobody is sitting here. Like, nobody is sitting here saying justice isn't a good thing. What we're saying is, can you give me an example of your God actually dispensing justice? Like, can you it would prove even more that he's a just God by doing so. But what we get is, oh, well, he'll make it all right at the end. Well, that's not anything. So what? Like, so what? I just don't understand what the problem is with the question and why you want to avoid answering it
on this podcast, but all you have to do is read through the Psalms and you'll see that so much of the worship of God comes out of their witnessing him judge. Because
Well, but yeah, witnessing him judge what though? Like, I'm sorry, honey, I've read the Psalms too. There are literally Psalms that also, Amy, David literally asks that God will allow him to avenge himself on his enemies. Like, I'm sorry, if you've read the Psalms, you will know that there are some Psalms that scream out for things that are very unjust. You know, like things that the people of God want to do to their enemies that have nothing to do with justice. They have everything to do with vengeance. So, yeah, it is the sort of rhetoric that makes us leave religion, because you realize it's kind of word salad emptiness. So, let's see, Evan says, witnessing who judge how? Like, dude, I've seen 2-year-olds disperse more justice than imaginary friendly boo. No, Evan, I always like the way you put stuff.
because the judgment of evil is a good thing, and it's something we all long for.
Yes, no shit.
And I guarantee even Charisma longs for that when she sees something unjust.
The irony is the question is a veiled judgment against God himself. Yeah.
And why are we not allowed to do that? Why are you Christians afraid, and is God afraid of being judged? Like, if he is the omniscient, omnipotent, omni-everything creator, what fear would he have of any judgment? Like, I always, this pisses me off, Koukl, because all you're doing is you're saying, well, you don't have the right to judge God, but he has the right to judge you. And we're saying, why? Why is that the case? Keep that word out of your mouth. Yes. Yes, Ryan. But yeah, like, dude, what?
You know, who is he anyway? He shouldn't be doing that. That's a judgment, you know. Where does he?
Okay, first of all, the question had nothing to do about the right to judge or anything. It's like, it was about what right does God have to dispense justice? That's about what right does he have to sit in the courtroom and judge humanity? It's a perfectly valid question. And what you're doing is like, oh, well, you're judging God. It's like, no. And we're perfectly fine. Go ahead, judge me. God can judge me all he wants. Okay, if he exists, but I highly doubt. But why am I not allowed to judge him? Like, come on. Come on. So there you go. I want to obviously pretend the things is real, so therefore it's real. Please. Okay, so what you're doing is to get justice. Then you're talking a lot of shit about God's glory, but nothing exists as an example. Exactly. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, why are you so afraid for God to be judged? What's the problem with that? If God is all the things that you say he is, then I should be able to judge him by my standard and find him meeting it. I do not understand this objection, Koukl. You're just kind of, damn it. Here we go again. Your apologist with your typical, we're judging God, and what gives us the right to judge God? And it's like, well, why is he afraid of judgment? Like, come on. Like, it's like how their metaphor of God keeping entities' existence for all eternity, the torment for all eternity. They can't cope with how God unbiblically sick-minded it would be entail God to be is judging evil. Yes. How dare you, a real person, make judgments? Only my imaginary friend is obviously actually me can make any judgment. Well, that's the irony of it, isn't it, Evan? Because they'll use the same God to pass judgment on others and then claim it's their God when really it's themselves, that they're the ones that want to pass moral judgment on others. Like, it's kind of a game that Christians play. Like, they don't want their God to be judged because then they can use their God to judge others and then nobody can question it. It's a game. Yeah, like, what about the things he did? Like, this is what they don't want to put on the table, Naomi. this is why Koukl is working very hard not to have God judge based on his merits, because the moment you do that, I can open up the Bible and go, God is apparently too weak and spineless to tell his people that they shouldn't have slavery in their midst. He's apparently too weak and spineless to tell his people that maybe taking war brides is a bad idea. Like, he's too weak and spineless, a God, to, tell people that maybe, just maybe, they shouldn't be killing other people because they don't have the same ethnicity. Like, maybe, he's too weak to do that, but he sure as hell will get you stoned for picking up sticks on the Sabbath day. Oh, it's not, but I'm calling it out. Like, they're trying to, it's basically he's rallying his believers around things, but his podcasts haven't been relevant to non-believers in probably a decade. Like, he tries, but he's so busy in the Christian, pretty, theological camp where he's just circle jerking his ideas at this point that I just, it's like he's not an effective apologist. Like, he bothers me because it's never a conversation. Like, I've read part of his book, Tactics. I'm having a trouble getting through it. One of these days I'll get through it and do a review, but it's like everything is set up to be this one-sided bullshit game. Like, it's never about having an actual conversation. He's self-indoctrinated in a lot of ways. So, oh yeah, the New Testament sucks too. Like, how is killing your child an appeasement for the world? And like, I had that, some apologist was saying that yesterday, I can't remember where, and it's like they're talking about how God is so wonderful because he solved the problem of sin, and I'm like, why? By having a bad weekend? Like, Jesus was in a hole for 3 days, so what? Like, God doesn't really sacrifice anything if you really think about it. So there you go.
You get the right to do that. I'm not looking at the exact wording of the question, but that's inherent, I think, in the question. And this happens all the time.
Yes. Thank you, Greg, for admitting that you're reading into the question.
When people raise questions like this, they end up doing the very thing that they seem to be implying ought not be done. So this is a judgment against.
No, the question does not assume that God shouldn't judge the world. The question is addressing on what merit does God judge the world? On what evidence do you have that God is a good and just God? Where is that? What evidence do you have for that? Like, it's not a question of whether God has the right to, well, you're judging God, so therefore, what difference? Like, so what? We're just going to go around to it's answer the question. Answer the question, friend. Yes. Okay. Oh my goodness. Koukl's response to the question is a massive cop-out. God is perfect, humanity isn't, therefore he has the right to judge us, and we can't do the reverse. Next question. Am I getting more of it? Yes. This is exactly what he's doing.
It's God, because God did earn the right to judge. Well, and again, I'm not sure if this is her question or she's parroting something that's been offered to her. Where did the person who asked the question get the right to judge God?
Because supposedly this God is judging them. I'm sorry, if you start judging somebody, they have the right to judge you back. Like, I don't understand this. Like, okay, so basically you want to create a system where God gets to judge everybody, but nobody gets to judge him. That is just tantamount way to have a tyrant. Like, every bad historical government starts with the government has the right to judge you, but you don't have the right to judge them. You don't have the right to question them. This is the kind of bullshit that led to tyrants. Okay, and justification for tyrants. I can't. No, sorry, Koukl.
Where is their authority to judge God? Now, they may be able to make sense of that, but there seems to be.
You don't actually need authority to judge either, by the way. Yeah, I don't know why he said that either. I don't know why you said that.
Little sensitivity to judgment when the challenger is laying the judgment out towards God or others regarding judging. Oh, judging, bad, 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 you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad, you're judging. Well, what was that? You just judged all of us bad.
Okay, you're number one, Koukl, you're assuming a lot about the character of the person who's asked the question simply because, like, you don't know anything about them. You just know the question that they've asked, and it's kind of asshole. You're judging them for judging everybody else. Like, haven't you figured out that we just like all judge things? And it's, yeah, who's bad? Yeah, like, I don't know what's going on. It gets weird.
By what authority did you do that kind of thing? But it doesn't occur to them.
I think the root of this problem is an inability to see the beauty of justice when it affects you.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I will hear the two opposite challenges.
It condemns you. Yeah.
I will two opposite challenges from atheists, and the first one is,
oh, they're talking about us. Cool, atheists.
Why does God let all this evil go on?
Mm-hmm.
God,
It's a fucking valid question. We asked the question because it's a valid question.
The bad God. He must be a bad God because he's letting all this evil go on. And then they turn around and say, why does God judge evil? Why is he so judgmental?
Nobody has ever made that second accusation from the atheist camp. That is such a complete straw man. I don't even want to deal with it. I have never made the accusation, why does God judge evil? I mean, maybe you're saying, why does God judge sin? But my whole thing, like, those are two separate questions, and they're both equally, they need to be handled on their own merits. But, you know, it's like you're trying to dismiss the problem of evil question about, like, you know, why does God judge the sinner kind of thing? Like, you get a judgment, you get a judgment. Yes, Ryan. The beauty of justice, the beauty of extended torture. Yeah, all you're saying here is bad. Yet, like, I don't think Amy here realizes how silly she's being, to be honest. Because I'm sorry, the problem of evil suffering question is valid regardless of whether or not people yell about God's justice on them. Like, it's still a valid question. You don't get to invalidate it. It's not like these two questions invalidate each other and they just go poof in a puff of smoke. Like, it doesn't get rid of it. So I don't know what she's trying to. Yeah, like, why does God judge evil? When did we ask it? I have no idea. Have no clue. Have none.
And the reason why is because we're kind of torn, because we love justice as human beings made in the image of God, but we don't like it to hit us.
That's right.
And that's where
Okay, I also have to point out at this point that they're both assuming that another thing about the character of the person that questions, they're basically poisoning well and doing an ad hominem against the person of the question who's asking the question in order to continue to dismiss it. Like, I don't know many logical fallacies we've done so far to avoid answering the question right in their faces, but it's quite a bit at this point.
Problem comes because you think, you realize, I can't stand up under perfect justice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a God who sees everything. That seems, and I'll get complaints about that. God's like a dictator. Well, how is it good that God, we even had a question about this on the show. How is it good that God sees everything? That's a terrible thing. Well, no, it's only terrible because it's you.
That he sees doing not.
Actually, it is a terrible thing if you really think about it. I know. Here's the thing, Amy. If God sees everything, then that is really against the idea of him being just. Because I love how Christians like to sugarcoat what God sees. Like, they try to make it lesser than. Like, when you really consider all the awful shit that goes into this world, when you really consider all the real deep garbage human beings do, sometimes, some of them do, and God sees that and does nothing, doesn't judge it, doesn't stop it, doesn't even play decent police officer, and at least try to arrest the people that are guilty. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. I the thing I hate most about Christians when they want to talk about the problem of evil is how they soft soap it. Like, they just make it, they whitewash it. Every person I've dealt with on the problem of evil question, from Jim Bob to Greg Koukl here to everybody in between, has always diminished what the problem of evil is. They've always turned it into a lesser than emotionally. And I'm sorry, if you want to deep dive that, God seeing everything is a real good mark against his justice. Like, when you consider some of the horrible shit that human beings do to other human beings, and God just watches and sees it. And not only that, because he's omnipresent, he's right there. Like, he's not watching it from a distance through a TV lens. He's right on top of it. Like, I'm sorry, that does make God really kind of evil. I mean, he does nothing to stop it and nothing to judge it. I mean, you can say, oh, well, why do, sorry, no. You guys just don't want to really consider some of the evil things that people have done to each other. You're just like, you're putting it out of your brain because it's emotionally uncomfortable to think about those things, but we're going to make God just anyway. So, oh, they soft soap it as a bar. I've ever heard a description of soft soap before. Oh, yeah. Like, I'm sorry. When it comes to the problem of evil, Wolf, these fuckers, they emotionally, that's why they always see, well, yeah, I know some of the problems of evil that are out there, just they're emotionally so bad, but we need to be rational about this. That's fucking soft soaping it. I'm sorry, I'm bringing in the emotions. I don't want to use the example I normally use because it does require a little bit of a trigger warning. But when you consider some of the things that human beings have done to children, just that alone, what they have done to kids, innocent little kids that don't know shit. When you consider that, and you consider the fact that God has the power to stop it, he knows that it's happening. And not only that, he's in the goddamn room when it happens. And you want to sit there and justify that? Sorry, that is you trying to deal, you're trying to cope with the evil that's out there and still hold on to your belief about God. It's copium. They are on a major amount of copium. I'm sorry. Like, I get very emotional. Yeah. I get emotional about this one, Earl, because I'm like, when these fuckers want to talk about the problem of evil, they always want to pull the emotion out of it. And I'm sorry, the problem of evil is an emotional question. It means that you have dehumanized other people to a point where you can defend your God quicker than you can try to get justice for what happened to those people. Like, you find it easier in your brain to think God's still good than look at the actual evil that takes place. Like, I'm sorry, this is, I've been calling Amy my dear for quite a bit here through this video, but what she's just suggested, that has got to be the most shitty thing I've heard. It's the biggest case of copium I've heard in a long time from a believer about the problem of evil. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't know how much time. I got no time left. She's probably going to talk about the grace of God or something. And yeah, grace is a really dumb concept too, but I'm kind of done because I'm angry. People ask me when I do my reactions, do I watch this stuff? I kind of sort of listen and watch. You're actually getting a pretty good live reaction. Like, I don't necessarily everything. The only thing I listen to it once for is to make sure there's nothing like objectionable in it to a point where I get mad. But I think I'm kind of done with Greg and his sidekick. She pissed me off because she's just engaged in so much copium about her God that she doesn't want to look evil in the face. Like, she's a coward. Like, I'm going to say it. Like, a lot of the ways that Christians deal with the problem of evil on an emotional level is just cowardly. Like, it makes me mad. It just makes me mad. I mean, I'm just kind of, it bothers me. Like, Yeah, a little bit of turtle. I got about 5 minutes, a little less, and then got to call it a day. I got to get to work. But yeah, I got time to do some announcements. Evan, I don't know if you know, and because you kind of started the GoFundMe for Earl, Earl's kind of, we're going to put that like in suspension. I'm not going to get rid of it, but we're kind of in a better place for Earl. And so if somebody else gives, that's fine, but we're going to kind of be Earl's health insurance for a while, and we're still going to fulfill that function with that money. But Earl's starting to get into a better place, and so we're good at. So, oh yeah, you okay? Cool, that's cool. All right. I didn't know. I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm like, all right. Yeah. Well, okay. Cool. All right. So I want to make sure everybody knew that. So you won't see that promoted probably hardly at all anymore. But we are so. I still want to say it though publicly. Fluffle, you astound me. All the people who gave, you're amazing humans. Like, thank you so much. And let's see. I don't know. Let's see. Tomorrow is J. Warner Wallace because yes, he's still out there. So, but yes, but there you go. And then Thursday, deconversion hangout. I still want to take a more look at this evolutionist daughter versus her creationist father. We kind of got where the plot is thickening. So, where she's talking about where she's getting older into her college days and stuff like that. So, but it gets even better from there. So, and then Friday, me and Earl will be co-streaming on on the Face Off from Jubilee. So we'll be doing that. I'm sure I'll have the thumbnail for that soon. But yes, that's the rest of the week. I just want to say how much I appreciate all of you. You guys have been great. I want to give a special shout out to Josh and Asho. Josh for his donation, but Asho for being like the OG of my members. Thank you, sir. Thanks. So there you go. And gloopy, you're being gloopy. Yes. All right. I am out of time. I do have to get ready for work. I'd much rather spend time here, but yeah. Yeah. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I appreciate all of you. So I'll see you all tomorrow and all that. But thanks. Thanks once and all. Appreciate it. And may Fangs nibble on all of your hearts. May he draw himself closer to you with his sharp, pointy teeth. May he take those same pointy teeth and purify all of your vegetables from religious corruption. If you're looking for a religion that gives you warm fuzzies, Fangsology has it all. We have the most warm fuzzy picture ever created in the godlet Fangs. Just look into those eyes, and you will get all the warm fuzzies you will ever need. If you need ritual in your life, just circumcise that carrot, place it on top of your stash or anything else you find valuable. And, maybe Fangs will take the carrot instead of the stash. Probably not likely. Results vary, like all religious rituals. And also be aware that Judge Fangs is out there looking for legal reasons to take your stash. So make sure you check your local laws. As always, beware of all those lives and lies of the apologists, especially those who want to lower the epistemological bar into hell. They're the ones that you really have to watch out for, along with the presuppopossums. They're out there too. So make sure that you keep an eye out for those guys. And as always, folks, live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So you want to take all your time, money, opportunities, and give them to yourself and to the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. Don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, folks, thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you all tomorrow at 7, where we'll be taking a look at J. Warner Wallace. See you then. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end to find out how you can support the channel better. Of course, there's always the more normal notions of just hitting that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification bell, and share the video with your friends and family that you think would be interested. That's always very appreciated. If you want to support the channel in a more tangible way, there's several options. You can super chat or super thanks in the comments or during a stream. Those are always very welcome. But you also can become a member of the channel. Members have certain perks like getting the videos early, things like that. They also have some good custom emojis during chat. So all of these things are good benefits to members, but they also support this channel and its work to continue to normalize atheism and deconversion, for which I'm very appreciative. It keeps me going, and it keeps me as a content creator being able to do more and more as a content creator. So if you choose those methods of support, thank you very much. And I appreciate you once again for staying to the end and listening to other ways that you can support the channel. Appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll catch you next time.